Diana Connor would have stayed in her own home if she had the option to, but after experiencing 20 years of emotional, financial and physical abuse at the hands of her partner, she and her son had no choice but to leave their home.
You shouldn't have your whole life uprooted when you're the victim.
Living on a farm in rural Victoria meant Diana was isolated from the services available to victims of family violence, including the nearest women's refuge, which was over 2 hours away.
It's not like we could just all of a sudden just up and leave 2 hours away.
CEO of Annie North Women's Refuge, Julie Oberon, says there are just over 20 women's refuges across Victoria, with the majority located in metropolitan areas or major regional centres.
But rural women definitely have social and geographical barriers. It's not just a lack of women's refuge response, but it's a lack of services in general.
For many women living in rural or remote areas, travelling to their local regional centre, where there are more facilities and services, is the most accessible pathway for seeking help.
Traditionally, it's been removing the women and kids, and they end up invariably disadvantaged or in the homelessness system because they've been uprooted, and it doesn't do anybody any good.
Domestic Violence Victoria's policy manager, Alison Birchall, says making it safe for victim survivors to remain in their homes is at the forefront of the nation's plan to tackle the family violence crisis.
What we would like to do is actually remove perpetrators from those situations.
The federal government's Keeping Women Safe in Their Homes program, which was established the same year as Australia's first Royal Commission into Family Violence, aims to help women and children who have experienced abuse to remain in their homes, when it's safe to do so, by providing them with increased security and resources.
It really supports the whole sort of safe at home approach to family violence, where the people that are the source of the risk are the ones that are removed rather than the victims.
The Australian government has already committed $34.5 million to the Keeping Women Safe in Their Homes initiative. In the coming years, they will allocate a further $18 million to state and territory governments and domestic violence service providers to support them in supporting victim survivors. This means support services like Annie North Women's Refuge have increased resources to help victim survivors stay safe at home and recover from the trauma they have experienced.
Help with dual alarms, panic buttons, increased security, increased lighting, security doors, window locks, CCTV, to help women feel safer at home.
Removing perpetrators and increasing support for victim survivors will also help women and children living in regional, rural and remote areas stay safe in their local communities, instead of being uprooted to unfamiliar or urban areas.
Knowing that if we could have stayed in our own home, it would have been so much easier for us.
Alexandra, Middleton, City Journal News.